And we are live. Welcome, everybody. My name is Kim Mastrofino, as you well know, and this is The Buzz. And this is going to be kind of an informal, kind of low key broadcast tonight because it's probably one of our last ones before our reunion. So we wanted to kind of just have kind of like a chat, kind of like a coffee chat or something, as some people call it, or whatever. But anyway, so we have Diane Coburn Martin, and we have Kim Abosso Goldberg. Welcome to the show. I'm not calling it a show tonight. And so again, we'll be updating on the reunion to make sure everyone has got the latest information. Actually, after this broadcast, we are having a meeting, so we may not be able to give you all the ins and outs because there's some things we have to finalize during the meeting. So, but we just thought we'd get it done in one day, and then it's all done and we're good. And so, anyway, I thought I'd start the little conversation with kind of, we're going to ask each other questions, obviously, but again, this is pretty low key and simple. But I was just telling the girls earlier this week, I don't know, I had this thought about like when I was back in high school, and then what I did for jobs all through the years up until now, which I'm retired. And so I was kind of laughing because I'm like, oh my God, I forgot I did that. Oh my God, I forgot I did that. Oh my God, I forgot I did that. And so it's amazing as to how many things that I did, but it also paved the way for building skill and that sort of thing. And so I thought it would be interesting to kind of, pick Kim Abosso's brain and Diane's brain to like, what did they do? And then, we can talk about, how we all did whatever. But anyway, so what do you think, girls?
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good.
So sounds good. All right, we're going to roll with it, man. So anyway, Kim, I think, so there's two Kims obviously on the broadcast, and I just have to add this in. Anywhere I've ever gone to work before, there's always been two or three Kims that would be on the same shift that I would be on, and it was always so confusing. And so my nickname is Dee Dee, which my sister unfortunately named me that when I was a baby. But anyway, and so I probably should have gone with that, throughout the whole year, and it would have been less confusing. So anyway, but Kim, why don't you take it away and enlighten us as to all the jobs that you've done?
Oh boy. Nothing super fascinating. I graduated high school, and my first like full-time job was at a place called Arcadia Microfilm. It was where it's where Benny's was. And I did.
Is that in Connecticut?
Yep, it was in Westerly. Yeah, it was Dunn's Corners.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, yep.
I remember that.
I worked there with Joni Castagnero.
Yeah.
Yeah, a whole bunch of us ended up getting a job there. But from there, I went to Yardney, and that was in Pawtucket.
Oh yeah, yep.
Again, I mean, we just had fun there because like a bunch of my friends worked there too, so lots of shenanigans. But I was a spot welder there, which was pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, my grandsons were really impressed when I told them that.
That's good.
So, oh gosh, after I did that, I moved to Connecticut. I had met my friend Mary, my best friend Mary, at one of the clubs down the beach, and she lived in Connecticut, and she was looking for a roommate. So I moved in with her. And I got a job with the state of Connecticut Labor Department, working in the unemployment office. And oh gosh, I was there for 5 years. It was a great job. I wish I had stayed. But I left when I was pregnant with my son and I started doing home daycare, and I did that for 19 years.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, at that time, I got a job with a travel agency doing corporate travel. So we made all the arrangements for. We worked with different corporations, but so I made all the travel arrangements for them to go on business trips. Oh gosh, and then after that, that place closed, and I ended up working for like a title company and I was there for 6 years, and that place closed. I don't know if it had anything to do with me, but and from there, I went to Symmetry Partners nearby. It was it was great. It was like a 15-minute drive. And that was a company that handled mutual funds.
Yeah.
And I worked in they called it back office because we were in a room. Nobody could, you couldn't get into it. It was locked. So anybody out on the floor couldn't get into it unless we let them in, because we had checks. We processed checks. We opened up accounts for people. There was a lot of like quality control, making sure all the paperwork was done right. And then it just changed. It just changed for me. And I was really unhappy there. And it's a long story, but I ended up being able to retire from there. And here I am.
Yay.
Yes.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Yep. Yeah.
But you did good. It sounds like you did good work, and it's nice to kind of look back and say, okay, I did all that, and here I am, and I'm still here. So
yeah. I did some cool stuff. Met a lot of good people. So
nice.
Yep.
What was your favorite place to work?
Probably the corporate travel. It was just fun,
Oh, that sounds like it would be fun.
Yeah, it was fun sending people off on adventures.
19 years though with daycare. Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was like, I was pregnant with my son, and I was like, I'm going to stay home until he goes to kindergarten. And I just
kept going.
I just didn't go back.
Yep. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, he graduated college, and I was still doing daycare.
Did you get sick of kids?
Not so much the kids, because, the kids are little innocent little creatures.
It was the parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. And it was a long day. I had a contract with my parents. I was open from 7 to 5. And and some people really took advantage of that. So I started imposing late fees, and they were really upset about that. It's like, I have a family too.
Right.
And, I want to get to spend some time with them. So, I was burnt out. From doing that. Yep. But I still stay in touch with some of the families that I did care for. One of the little girls that I used to watch has a 1-year-old now. So yeah. So it's nice.
That's nice. That's special.
Yep.
That you're still connected.
Yeah.
Well, so how about you, Diane?
So I wasn't really prepared for this. So as Kim's talking, I'm writing down all these things. I'm like, oh my God.
Not to put you on the spot.
I know, huh? My very first job in high school, of course, everybody babysat, but was at the Pleasant View house. I cleaned
Oh.
rooms back then.
Ooh.
Yeah, but we were all we all went towards the beach, and
Me too.
most of you know I was with Dean Van Dyson, and then we got married. But at those times back then, he was a lifeguard, and he was down at the Musqueamick Club in Watch Hill. And, you know, all the lifeguards knew each other. And then after work, we just all got together down the beach and had some good
fun.
parties and stuff. It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I like to clean. What's
That's
that?
good to know.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I worked at the beach too. I worked at the Breezeway Motel.
Yep.
Rooms. Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't even know. Let's see. After that, I did a lot of volunteer work. There was a big Westerly food co-op. It was from one of the churches down in Westerly. I kind of took over and organized that. And that was really fun, really great foods and stuff like that. I think that was after Dean and I were married. Oh, what did I do? I went to dental school in Rochester, New York, dental assistant school. I really wanted to go to nursing school, but Dean and I wanted to get married, so I went to a shorter school. And my first job out of that was in oral surgery for Dr. Nicholas Capobianco. I loved every second of that. And then Bruce McKinnon was friendly with Nick, and they'd go out to lunch, and he goes, "Hey, I really need a four-handed dental assistant. Want to come work for me?" And I did for years.
Wow.
I think I even worked for Gene Renz for a little while. Gosh, what else did I do? After that, I think Taylor, my daughter, she's 44 now. So I think I had just had her. I was pregnant with her. And Ginny Wilkes came to me and asked me if I wanted to work for Dr. McGowan. Dr. McGowan was our pediatrician in town that took over for Ogden. He was with Dr. Frey.
Oh, wow.
And I started working there, and then I started doing a lot of dictational typing for him because it was easy to put my child to bed and stay up late and do that kind of thing. Of course, those jobs are no longer talk into the machines, and they, you know, you don't have to listen and type.
Yep.
And gosh, I worked for John McGowan for 24 years. I loved that man tremendously. He passed this last December. But he had an office after we closed pediatrics. We went full-time Mystic Allergy Immunology in Waterford. So I managed those offices. And then in between, because I worked part-time, I co-founded In Harmony Therapeutic Riding. That was on Collins Road down in Ashaway. The owner of the farm happened to be one of the co-founders of Job Lot. So he had like a ton of money. Okay. I mean, it was a nonprofit 501c3, but it was fabulous. We really got to work from the ground up, and we were certified through NARA at the time, North American Riding for the Handicapped, which is now called PATH. That was really fun. We did able-bodied students and students with disabilities. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then let's see.
I'll ask her after.
Oh, I had a cleaning business with my sister-in-law back then called Personal Touch, and it was good income because Dean and I were divorced, and I needed to supplement income and keep my kids' lifestyle going. So we did that, and then let's see. When Mickey and I got married and moved here to Hope Valley, we did, what did I do? I was trying to write this down. Oh, I have a boarding facility for horses, and I took on students for a while. That was part-time. And then he sold his business in Mystic, Connecticut, which was Quality Tire and Auto. We bought some land in Exeter and built a building, commercial building, and we did car sales and car repair. And we also had a big transport business, transporting cars to and from auctions and down south and all. Residential and commercial real estate. We've both, dabbled in. We still have the commercial real estate. So I'm not quite retired, but that's okay. It's not bad. And then for years I've been a 4-H leader. I worked through URI to run their horse program, and I was the liaison between Connecticut, Yukon, and Rhode Island, and would get stipends here and there for doing certain things within the horse program. But mostly all that's gone by the wayside, and we just have the commercial stuff, and that keeps us busy. Yeah. So that's a lot. I'm writing this stuff down. I'm like, oh my gosh, I did a lot.
Yeah, it's amazing how much you have done, and in such a different array of everything.
Yeah.
And I have to ask you, the therapeutic horseback riding in Ashaway, what was the name of that?
In Harmony Therapeutic Riding.
I think that was the one when I worked, because I worked for a company that served individuals with disabilities.
Oh, yeah. We used to work with the Olean Center.
Yeah. And I remember going up there, and all I remember, I had to bring someone up because they'd help clean out the stalls and things like that. And I remember the horses were playing in the field one day, and they were really big, because I used to ride horses when I was a kid. And I was like, oh my God. And they were like just so large and but they were playing, and I'm like, oh, I hope they don't get hurt. And then all of a sudden they were really getting rough. So I said to them, knock it off. And they both like stopped.
Yeah, you probably startled them. But I didn't see you during that time, or?
I don't know, because I remember bringing some of our guys up there, and
it could have been after I was gone too.
It could have been, because it had been. Didn't it change hands or something?
Oh yeah, there's a whole story with that whole place.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But that was very, very really beneficial, and they got a lot out of it. It was really great. And
it was great. It was great hands-on, and we did a lot with Olean, and we did some with a couple of the places up in Warwick, and
that's nice.
All that. Yeah. And we had able-bodied lessons. We had a vaulting program too, for able-bodied kids, which supplemented the income. But our big push there were halflingers. There were a lot of other horses there because it was a general boarding facility on the other side too. There were a lot of 100 jumpers and stuff.
Yeah.
But our big thing was halflingers. They're kind of like like the golden retriever of horses. Not saying every horse is like that, because no, they're not. You go by looking at all these pictures online, and it could be dangerous. So halflingers are great. Their personalities are wonderful. So we used to use a lot of halflingers.
And I give you credit for being a dental hygienist, because that's a tough job.
I was actually an assistant because I didn't go into hygiene because, I wanted to get married. I wanted to get home and get married.
Yeah.
And, but I loved it. And oral surgery was my absolute favorite, all that good stuff. Yeah.
God bless you. I don't know if I can
No, it was good. It was fun. And then you're educating people on how to take care of their oral hygiene.
Well, which is important, and you got to like what you do. So
you did,
So that was good.
So how about you, Kim?
Well, it's interesting
Dee Dee.
because I cracked my nickname, right? It's my sister.
Call you Dee Dee.
She named everyone, but the oldest sister always did that. Candy, Dee Dee, Tiny, and Beaver. That was our nicknames. So anyway, but not to get into that. But I did like an array of different things. When you get out of high school, I didn't go to college right away. And so you're kind of trying to find your niche in a sense. But I did my first job, in school, like I babysat, and I can relate to cleaning rooms because we worked for the Franklin Gardens Motel. I don't know if my parents, good friends owned that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so all of us, except for my brother, all of us girls, cleaned motel rooms, and we actually babysat for them. We rented their rooms when they went out and all that kind of stuff. So that was the start. And And, I learned a lot there. And so then I went on to other things. I think I worked at Altron's, and that wasn't bad. It was like piecework. It wasn't really my thing, but what I liked about it was the people there that worked there were really, really nice.
Yeah.
And
Where was that, Kim?
downtown, where up above where Cox Cable used to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so I remember that job, and then I ended up working a lot in food service. I worked at Happy Holidays. I worked at the Mystic River Tavern when it was the Mystic River Tavern, by the bridge. And I really learned a lot of skill working in food service because you had to learn how to manage your time. You had to learn how to deal with all kinds of personalities.
Yeah.
And that was really key for me. And I actually liked waitressing. I did waitressing and bartending. And then I was a dining room manager at one time.
Well,
that's a lot.
But it was good because it was social, and it was fast money then.
Yeah.
I worked at Friendly's, and when I went back to school, I worked at Friendly's because the hours were better. But I have to, what I was interested in remembering, because I had forgotten about this, when I worked at the Mystic River Tavern during the day, I was actually interested in working in the radio business. So I ended up doing an internship. I don't know if you guys remember the WORQ.
I don't.
It was
I don't think so.
So that was actually they had rented a house, and it was on the way to it was in Connecticut. It was like over the border, like in Pawcatuck. And so I went in and I sold airtime, and then I produced and wrote the scripts, for the ads.
Oh,
and so
that's
that
cool.
it was really, really fun. And so, but I couldn't do both jobs. And at that time, they weren't hiring, even though I got them a lot of clients. And I used to have a blast, like writing the stuff, because some of the clients that I got said, yeah, just write what you want. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just as long as it catches people's attention. So I would just do these like lavish, like story kind of things. Like, I don't know. It was just fun. I had fun with
cool.
it. Yeah, it was really,
Creative.
really fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
then,
good for you.
Yeah. And then later
I remember
on,
WERI. That's all I remember.
Right. I remember that too.
Yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. So, yeah, it was fun. And then just, other than that, it was, just doing odd things. I sold Avon. I sold Mary Kay.
Yeah.
And those were like side gigs. I did cleaning jobs on the side. Just, like I'd say, oh, gee, I need a vacuum cleaner. I got to go get a cleaning job. And I did. And then once I got it, I quit, and so.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, and then, later on, it was, I worked for Perspectives, which is an agency that serves individuals with disabilities. And then I went to the Olean Center, and here I am. But all kinds of fun things. It was just an array.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was good. But anyway, so let's see. We got a few minutes. Should we kind of review some of our reunion stuff, that all the stuff that we have confirmed? And obviously we got to talk more at the meeting, but
yeah, I think so.
I know, Diane, you've been running crazy. I know that you met with people at Vetrano's to kind of finalize things.
I think there's people texting or sending messages that say, hey, is it too late to come? And of course it's not. So I just went down today and confirmed our heavy appetizers, that kind of thing, and added a little bit more. So that'll work out great. This young lady, Madison, is wonderful to work with. She'll be there helping. I did talk to her because of the weather. We're looking at the weather and it's showing rain. I don't think it's gonna, though. I think it's gonna be fine. I think it's gonna blow over and the day's gonna be fine. But anyway, I asked her if she's catered venues there in the rain, and she said yes. and they do it all under the pavilion, and it has worked out fine. Justin says that as well. He's the manager down there. It would mean we'd have to move buffet tables under the little pavilion area, and we might be a little cozy. But, I mean, it is what it is. I know there was talk within our small committee, if you will, because last week's possible hurricane, and it was a wedding, so that they did decide to move the venue to the community chorus building. I don't think we're going to have to do that after talking with them today.
Okay.
So everything's set. We've got utensils and plates, and we're working on a lot of stuff. I've got a greeting table that'll be kind of fun. Vintage items there.
Nice.
Everybody will have their name tag. Okay, we've done copies of the name tag from the yearbook. If perchance it's not out there when you come in, we do have a stack of the pictures and name tags that you'd have to put in there. But I've got all the name tags of people who have really RSVP'd, said, I am coming. I am bringing, so many guests.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's going well. We have our meeting tonight at 7:30. So if anybody wants to come in, definitely come on in. I talked to Jerry. Jerry's been great, helping a lot. He is bringing the big screen.
Yes.
And the laptop, because we have Vid Day to show.
Yes.
All throughout. If it rains, we may have to put that inside, but that's not a problem.
Yeah.
I've only gotten 2 responses for handicap parking, so I'll make sure those are there. The issue with the parking, Gray Sale unfortunately evolved and doesn't have a ton of parking right at the facility, but they're right to the left. If you're facing Gray Sale, to the left, you walk past the fencing or whatever is the one parking lot, and then down a ways is the other parking lot. So you might have to walk a tad, but I think it's going to be fun. And Sunday we're going to do stuff here. Donnie Plowman and his band are staying here at my little cottage. So we were all talking, and we thought, well, why don't they play again? So they're going to play for a few hours. We might have food left over from the night before, but if not, bring something, a snack, and we'll do hot dogs.
Yep.
Jerry wants to do hamburgers too, so he's getting stuff.
I don't know if you saw Tom Barbone's message, but he said he would bring the hot dogs.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. He called me this morning too. So I said, sure. Yeah. And, my garage isn't attached to my house. So they're going to bring a couple of those canopy tents.
Oh, good. Okay.
And we can run in between the garage and the house.
Yeah.
And if it's nice, we'll put everything outside.
Yeah.
But just a little more time that we can spend with each other,
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for offering your house and your property to have us do that.
Mine as well, right? Yeah.
So
the 50th only comes once.
That's true. I know. That's true. Yeah. Hey, just before we end, there's some folks that want to say hi, and thanks for all that are typed messages in. Eileen, Lois, I think Jean. Some aren't identified it's Facebook user, but someone responded to Jean, so I imagine he's one of the ones that responded. So anyway, but
we do want to mention too the Windjammer. Definitely Friday night. Some of us are going to go down. We had mentioned before starting, like 4:00 on. I know some people will go down. I personally won't go down till after chores around 6 or something like that. So it's whatever. Come whenever.
Yeah, it's loose.
Lori has the Napa Tree Point walk. I think it was at 11.
Right.
Yes.
We don't know about the weather. So we'll have to see.
You have to just figure out and see.
Yep.
So, but I think that, we're, it's countdown time. I think that, we're in good shape other than, finalizing some of the little more details, but, I think it's good. So, and
We'll
it's
take
hard to
some
believe.
pictures and photographs and maybe a little few videos that night. We'll post it for some of the people that, won't be able to be there.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most
And we'll
definitely.
send out a final social media and email to everybody.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Kim, do you have anything to add before we close?
Jean Barato asked on the class page about he doesn't know details, the itinerary for the weekend.
I did text him.
Okay.
And I told him after the meeting tonight, we'd even get more information out, and I'll text him.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Good.
But
Well,
I just gave him a general.
Yep.
Yeah.
General. Okay.
Yeah, we can send like the notes, like we usually do to all the everyone's email, and it will be posted on Facebook as well.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure again. Yes. So we'll see everyone at the party on the weekend.
Yeah.
It's a 3-day event.
I
I
want to thank you, Kim. You have done all the StreamYard. You've set up all the interviews. You've been instrumental in all that.
Well, I think we all work together.
People really have enjoyed it. They'll text or they'll say, good job. And maybe as time goes on, we'll do some more. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure. I've actually had a really good time, and so, and it's been nice to get to know people I didn't know. So, and that's a bonus. So,
absolutely.
Anyway, we'll see you all at the meeting.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.